Number 17. Given the graph of f of x equals 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, determine each of the following. So first, I'm going to look for the domain. Okay? When you have a quadratic function, and you are looking for domain and range, you're trying to basically fit this graph into a box. Okay? So the only part of the box that I can draw is this bottom part of my box. And because I can't draw the left side of the box, because this line goes on forever and this line goes on forever and ever and ever, so I can't draw a line like where my hand is, my left hand, to make it stop. Same thing for the right side. I can't draw the right side of my box to make this graph stop. And then the same thing with the top. Okay? So that means my domain is going to be all real numbers. Okay? And so my range is going to be where my line is, but I can't really tell where it is yet because there's no numbers by my axes. So to figure out where that line is going to be at, I'm going to use my graphing calculator, and I'm going to actually graph. Let me put it in the screen so you can actually see it. I'm going to graph my function 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay. And when I graph it, I'm also going to find the vertex. So I'm going to go to Menu, Trace, Graph Trace, and see the little dot. And if I move it around, it'll tell me where my zeros are. And it'll also tell me my vertex, which is also the minimum point. So the minimum point is going to be at negative 1.25, comma, negative 0.125. So I'm going to move my calculator real quick, write that down. Okay. Since this is my vertex is going to be on this line. So that means the y-coordinate for that is going to be negative 0.125. And since my graph is above it, that means my range is y is greater than or equal to negative 0.125. Okay? Remember, my axis of symmetry basically splits my graph into half evenly. So this is where my line is. It's also going to be the x-coordinate for my vertex. So this is going to be my axis of symmetry. And remember, it always starts with x equals negative 1.25. Okay, so if I go back to my calculator, remember how I hit the trace? And so it tells me my minimum, but if you scroll around, it'll also tell you what your zeros are. And remember, zeros is just another word for x-intercepts. Okay, so 1 0 is at negative 1 comma 0. And that's going to be this point right here. So now I need to find out what this other point is. So if I keep pressing the left button, it's going to tell me my next zero, because it says 0 right there, is negative 1.5 comma 0. And there you go.